Spiritual Living West Georgia. We study and practice the philosophy and science of the mind we know as God. And with our spiritual presence and participation in our service here this morning, we create a higher state of consciousness, rise above all the negative energy we may have experienced this past week, and manifest love for the following week. We know love is synonymous to God. Our master teacher, the outstanding Reverend Dr. Sandra Jackson, will now proceed with our service.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So thank you, Mike. Glad to have you back in person. Yes. We are loving being together on Sundays. It's really nice to have people show up and show out and all of that good stuff. Yeah, and Jennifer's here today. Yay! All right. Everybody. It's wonderful having music online, but it's really nice having it in person. So, I was thinking about that song, God, that song about He's got the whole world in his hands. You know why he has the whole world in his hands? Because he's in everybody and everything and everywhere, and you cannot get away from God. And so that's why every Sunday we begin by turning within and recognizing, realizing, and knowing that the truth of who we are is pure, absolute, unadulterated spirit, that the infinite presence and life of the transcendent God is immanent within each and every one of us. So let us just take a moment now and close our eyes and turn within, recognizing, realizing, and knowing that this is the truth of who we are. It is the very essence and core of our being. It is from that life that each of us, in our own individual expression, spring. It is the truth of each and every one of us. We are like little droplets of water of rain, and all coming together in the puddle that we know is life. And so it is that we begin this day, that we begin this service, that in this moment we are creating a new life for ourselves. And we are knowing that that life is coming from that deep well of infinite presence within us, that it does not veil us, and that we need only open ourselves and allow it to be. And so with gratitude and thanksgiving for this life that it is, and so much more, I release this word now into the law, the creative law of mind, which knows exactly what to do with it and how to manifest it in our lives individually and collectively. And so it is. Our vision. I should read the bulletin, right? I do this every Sunday, right? But after the prayer, it's like I just want to sit down. Anyway, I should change the program, and that would help. Our vision and mission statement. Please stand. CSL West Georgia is a joyful global community where everyone belongs. Through our unique spiritual teachings, we provide a safe environment to experience compassionate living. In our Declaration of Principles, I believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. And this month, our song is It's a Wonderful World.
What a wonderful
Jennifer
world.
is going to play it and sing it for us.
All right, everybody.
She's our community leader today.
If we sing this loud enough, it really shall be a wonderful world. All right. Am I coming through the mains? I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them grow for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed days and dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky, and they're also in the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? I know they're saying, I love you. I see babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I love that. Wow, let's say it again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Our reading today is called Be Willing to Apologize. Whenever you are in business or when you are taking risks, making things happen, interacting with others, or in the public eye, you are bound to make mistakes. At times, you're going to use bad judgment, say something wrong, offend someone, criticize unnecessarily, be too demanding, or act selfishly. The question isn't whether you will make these mistakes. We all do. The question is, can you admit to them? If so, the question becomes, can you apologize? Many people never apologize. They are either too self-conscious, self-righteous, stubborn, or arrogant to do so. The unwillingness to apologize is not just sad, it is a serious mistake as well. Almost everyone expects others to make mistakes, and with a humble and sincere apology, almost everyone is willing to forgive. However, if you are a person who is either unable or unwilling to apologize, you will be branded a difficult person to work with. And over time, people will avoid you, speak behind your back, and do nothing to help you. The ability to apologize, to admit mistakes, is a beautiful human quality that brings people closer together and helps us succeed. By simply acknowledging our humanness and saying, I'm sorry, when appropriate, we bond with others and increase their trust in us. On a live television talk show once, I was discussing one of my books about happiness. I was in a terrible mood and was dealing with some pretty serious stuff myself. There was a guest on the show who was asking for my advice. Normally, this is where I'm at my best. I love talk shows and I love helping others when I can. I can't remember what I said on that particular day, but whatever it was, it offended him and hurt his feelings. The producer contacted me with a rather nasty letter telling me that as far as she was concerned, I wasn't welcome back on the show again. In recent years, I think I would have become defensive and offered an explanation in an attempt to make her a part of the problem. Instead, I simply offered my most sincere apology. I told her I was wrong and that she was right. I really meant what I said. I even offered to call the guest I had offended if she could get me his number. A few weeks went by, and I received another letter from the producer. This time, however, the letter was quite different. She said that in over 10 years as a producer, she had never received such a sincere and non-defensive apology. She asked if I would come back as a guest again real soon. By apologizing, I had corrected my mistake. Obviously, you must never apologize as a tool of manipulation to try to get a response like this or to get something out of it. I tell you this story to remind you of how forgiving people can be when you admit you're wrong. When you apologize from your heart, you keep most of your can't read my own writing, of your own existing doors open. Occasionally, you may even open doors that had previously been closed.
So this morning we're going to be talking about creativity. That is my understanding, and there's no better way to create than by connecting with Spirit first and saying, God, I am open and willing. I allow your divine will to work through me. Hold a vision of the life I choose today, and then patiently I wait. So much good's already coming to me now, as I consciously awake. And I am open, God willing. Can you guys sing that with me? I am open, God willing. I am trusting for the time along the way, even when I miss my mark. And I'm learning there are really no mistakes, only brilliant works of heart. And I am open, God willing. I am open, God willing. Created with the one who has created me. I see my path so clearly right in front of me, and I follow where it goes. As in a vision comes, I let it carry me, and I surrender to the flow. And I down and sing along with me. Everybody at home, everybody in the audience, Eddie. Oh, I am open, God willing. Yeah, sing it like you mean it. We got a couple more. Oh, I'm open, God willing. One last one to bring it home. Oh, I am open, God willing. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, that's a great message. But what does it mean to be open, God within? Think about that. It's a nice song, right? It's nice words. But we have to follow up with the action. Okay, that's a whisper. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning once again. Wow, can you imagine? This is what Christians call Holy Week. Maybe Jews do too, I'm not sure. But Passover is this week, and Ramadan started a week or so ago. The Muslims people of the Muslim faith have Ramadan for a month where they are fasting. And the Jews have, Judaism has Passover on Thursday. And we have the Last Supper. When I was going to the Presbyterian church, it was called Maundy Thursday. I don't know what Maundy meant, but that's what it was called. Anyway, Jesus was Jewish. And so he was going to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. So we have changed it to the Last Supper because it was Jesus's last Passover. Okay, so it's the Last Supper. All right, but I want to change the subject a little bit. I want you to think of someone that you love. Anybody, it could be anybody that you love, somebody that you love. Just bring them to mind. Think about them. Now think about why you love them. What is it about them that you love? Why do you love them? And then think of somebody else who you love, a different person, and why you love that person. Do you love them for the same reason? I'm not asking you to answer this out loud. I'm just asking you to ask yourself, do you love them for the same reason? You see, if you love them and you can answer the question, why do I love them, and you have a reason for it, then you are putting conditions on your love. Think about that. So sometimes, you say, well, I love people, I love this person because they're trustworthy. I can trust them. Well, what happens when they break your trust? That's the condition. The condition that you have placed on loving them is that they be trustworthy. And if they're not trustworthy, then they are what? Unlovable, right? That's, what do you say with an Easter message? It's about this, okay? Yes, this is an Easter message. Because here's the thing. The Pharisees were the scholars, the religious scholars of the day, of Jesus's day, and they thought themselves to be superior to everybody else. But metaphysically, they represent seeking truth in the external world rather than through our consciousness. Instead of going to God within, we look out there and say, are you doing what I want you to do? If you are, then I love you. If you're not, then I don't love you. I don't want to be bothered with you. Are you like me? Then I love you. And if you're not like me, then I'm not going to love you. Are you damaged in some way in terms of the world? Then I'm not going to love you. All that external stuff, okay? That's metaphysically, that's how the Pharisees see things, okay? They looked at what Jesus was doing. They couldn't connect with what he was doing internally. And so what did they do? They condemned him. But in John 12, it says, many of the leading men also believed in him, Jesus, but because the Pharisees But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess it, so that they might not be cast out of the synagogue. So what does that mean? That means that they were quiet. They did not speak up. They just like, I want to keep my place here. How many times do we do that? You know, I am nice and safe in this place. I am not going to do anything at all to jeopardize my safety in this place. And so we be quiet and we allow things to happen around us. Probably aren't such a great idea to happen. But in that same chapter 12, 42 to 45, the Bible also says they did not want to be cast out of the synagogue, for they loved the honor of men more than the glory of God. Wow. They love the honor of men more than the glory of God. See, we say the words, I am open, God within. But if we're not open to God within, then what are we doing? We're loving the world more than we're loving God. Right? And we have to keep paying attention to that because it's easy. The world sucks us in, right? It just always does. Stuff happens. And things get hurt and things, people lose trust and different things happen in the world. And here we are going like, I'm just going to go along with it. And at the same time, we're singing, I am open to God within. That is such a good song. I had not planned to say that, but that worked out so well. It fits right in here with what we're talking about, right? So Jesus, on the other hand, it says, cried out. Jesus cried out. I mean, he just was talking. That's the Bible's word of saying, he was saying, he who believes in me believes not in me, but in him who sent me. Now, I remember I was living in New Jersey at the time when I had a bunch of friends. We went to the beach. And there was this young woman going to all the cars, the people, as they got out of their cars. And she was like, are you saved? Are you saved? Do you believe Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior? At the time, I wasn't believing anything about Jesus, the Bible, or God. It was like, go away, go away, go away. But she was so forceful about it. I have no doubt that she believed what it was that she was saying. She totally believed that Jesus was her Lord and Savior and that she had to convince everybody that she possibly could to believe the same thing. But listen to what the Bible says. He who believes in me, Jesus, believes not in me, but in him who sent me. And that's the Christian message that people miss. They miss it. They think, oh, it's all about Jesus. In the science of mind, we think of Jesus as a master teacher. You can think of him as your brother. You can think of him as the Son of God if you want to, but he is not the only Son of God. You and I are also sons, daughters, and expressions of God. Okay? But that's what the Bible says. It's not me saying it. It's just John. You look it up for yourself. John 45. It's between 42 and 45. I've got them all here listed together. He who believes in me believes not in me, but in him who sent me. And so who sent him? He says all the time, my Father sent me. Jesus never takes credit for what he does. He always says, it is the Father within that does the works. And it is he who sent me. And so the science of mind, we teach that Jesus is a friend, but not the Lord and Savior. You are already saved. Why are you saved? Because you are in a divine expression. You are God within and God without. You are God expressing physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in all ways possible. You and God are one. Now, let me be clear, because somebody's going to go like, well, how can you be God? Because God's so great. Yes, God is great. God is transcendent and God is immanent, meaning God is more than we are, and God is within us all at the same time. Can you hold two thoughts in your mind at the same time? Seeing God as more than and inside too. That's what Jesus was trying to teach us. That's what he was saying. And then continuing on, he went to the Last Supper. Well, first of all, he went to Jerusalem on a donkey, right? Today's topic is what? Dancing with the donkey. You know who the donkey is metaphysically? Your resistance, your stubbornness, and your desire. Like the Pharisees were stubborn about looking at Jesus and seeing beyond their teachings to what he was trying to bring forth for them. He was trying to open their mind to something greater, and they were having none of it. So after Judas leaves the Last Supper, the Passover supper, Jesus tells the disciples that he can't go with them, or rather they can't go with him because he's going someplace they can't, where he's going, to the cross. So in John 13, he says, because they continue their conversation, "A commandment I give you, that you love one another just as I have loved you," that you love one another. A new commandment. See, they've been living by the Old Testament commandments, those 10 commandments. But this one is different, because there is not in the 10 commandments the commandment to love. And he's saying here, I am giving you this new commandment. And someplace else he says it's the only commandment, really. A new commandment I give, that you love one another as I have loved you. Jesus gives this commandment to the disciples and to us as his last directive before he goes to the cross. Stop and think about that. As means equal. As means equal. So this is how Jesus loves. This is how you're supposed to love. How did Jesus love? Jesus loved unconditionally. He never said, well, I will heal you if you will pay me. He never said, I will heal you if you can prove to me that you're trustworthy. He never said, I will heal you if you will do something for that person over there, or do something for me, or if you will pray to God, or even God forbid. He never said, I will do for you if you tithe. I mean, we teach tithing. I want you to tithe. But he did not say. He had no conditions. When someone showed up and wanted a healing, he just simply said, your sins are forgiven. Go on about your business. He didn't say, what were those sins you want forgiven? No. He never said any of that. It's unconditional. So when we love somebody, we have to take all the conditions off. We have to love them because they are just like us, a divine expression of the living God. The transcendent God is greater than them, but the immanent God is within them. It is within each and every one of us. And we have the power, or Jesus would not have told us, we do have the power to love unconditionally. And there are people in our world who do that. There was a story going around, and it's a letter, excuse me, from Einstein. Tell me, I just took the first page. I printed this out and only had the first page. Oh, well, I'll just have to tell you what it's supposed to say. All right, so there was this letter that supposedly was written by Einstein to his daughter, and come to find out, this reporter. But I read the letter, and it was like, this is amazing. If Einstein really wrote this, but there's so much stuff going around these days that is not necessarily the truth. Okay, and so I looked up the Einstein. You can find anything in Google now. Einstein, letter to, her name is Lazeri, I think. Anyway, so I looked it up. Some reporter had tracked it down, come to find out Einstein did not write this letter. But it's a lovely letter. And what he's saying in that, there's only one power. There's only one power, and that power is love. And whoever wrote this, because it's quite extensive, I'm sorry that I'll put it in the newsletter. Okay, it's a really nice letter. I'll put it in the newsletter because I'm so sorry, I forgot. I got 2 pages here, and one of them is not what I expected. Okay, so so he says that the person who wrote it obviously number one, either wanted it to be anonymous, or they did not see that putting their name to it would have the kind of credibility that Einstein's name would have to it. And so he's saying that love is the only power there is, and that scientists are finding that love is truly the only power that is. And it's, oh, thank you so much. Dorothea went and got it out of my bag. Thank you. Okay, so this is it. Thank you so much. He says, there is an extremely powerful force that so far science has not found a formal explanation to. It is a force that includes and governs all others, and it is even behind any phenomenon operating in the universe that has not yet been identified by us. This universal force is love. When scientists look at a unified theory of the universe, they forgot the most powerful unseen force. Love is light. It enlightens those who give and receive it. Love is gravity because it makes some people feel attracted to us. Love is power because it multiplies the best we have and allows humanity not to be extinguished in their blind selfishness. Love unfolds and reveals. For love we live and die. For love is God, and God is love. He goes on to say that this force explains everything and gives meaning to life. This is the variable that we have ignored for too long, maybe because we are afraid to love, because it is the only energy in the universe that man has not learned to drive at will. Wow. Can you imagine? Jesus, how many years ago was this? 2,000 years or more? And Jesus is saying, love one another. We have had this commandment for all these years, and yet we still don't understand it. We have managed to go to the moon and back. Now we not only at the moon, we got space things that people living out in space for years and years and years, and rich people taking rocket ships and flying around the earth. And they've got the money to do all of that. And yet we have not learned this very simple thing that each one of us has the capacity that we are born with. Think about that. We are born, just as we're born with a body, we are born with the capacity to love. And sometimes children are born, deformed in or what's that? I can't think of the word, but they're the children who that go to the Special Olympics. If you talk to some of those parents, one of the things they say is those kids are the most loving kids, that they are so glad that they didn't give their child away because they have experienced so much love with that child. Why? Because that child has learned unconditional love, and that's what the parents are feeling, that they don't feel from other quarters. So the letter goes on to say, to give visibly to love, I made a simple substitution in my most famous equation. Remember, this is supposed to be Einstein writing this. If instead of E equal mc squared, we accept that energy to heal the world can be obtained through love multiplied by the speed of light squared, we arrive at the conclusion that love is the most powerful force there is because it has no limits. You can love anybody. You have the capacity to love anybody. And part of it requires us to do what Sandy was talking about in the reading this morning, is to recognize that we make mistakes, that the mistake we have made sometimes is just simply to judge someone and make our love of them condition-based. He goes on to say, after the failure of humanity in the use and control of other forces of the universe that have turned against us, it is urgent that we nourish ourselves with another kind of energy. If we want our species to survive, if we are to find meaning in life, if we want to save the world and every sentient being that inhabits it, love is the one and only answer. Perhaps we are not ready yet to make a bomb of love, a device powerful enough to entirely destroy the hate, selfishness, and greed that devastates the planet. However, each individual carries within them a small but powerful generator of love whose energy is waiting to be released. Just think about that. Just think if you were to walk and just decide, I'm going to love everybody no matter who they are, no matter what they're doing, no matter what their condition in life, that I'm going to love as Jesus loved. I'm going to use him as my example. He loved without conditions. I'm just going to love you just because you are. Well, start with the person that I asked you to think about. Just decide, you know what, this person, just for this next week, just for this 1 week, from now till next Sunday, on Easter, you can be released, okay? You can be free. But just for this 1 week, love that person unconditionally. Make sure you relate to them in some way. Write them a letter, give them a call, give them a chance to make you upset. So that the conditions cash in, right? Because how do you know you're loving unconditionally when they do something that you don't like and you go like, I love you anyway. Okay? I forgive you and I forgive myself for judging you in the first place. He goes on to say, this is the last paragraph, I deeply regret not having been able to express what is in my heart, which has quietly beaten for you all my life. Maybe it's too late to apologize. But as time is relative, I need to tell you that I love you and thank you. I have reached the ultimate answer. Your father, Albert Einstein. So somebody just, appropriated. And the letter says that the daughter said, please don't, publish this. They gave all his letters to some organization and said, please don't publish this letter till 20 years after. Okay, well, the daughter died, the one that's supposedly he's writing the letter to died long before he did, so she obviously didn't do it. But it's a wonderful letter, right? I mean, it's a very universal message, regardless of who wrote it. And the truth is that Jesus told us to love one another as we've loved you, as he has loved you. So, it's a universal message, and regardless of who wrote it, I'm sure it's somebody at this point is anonymous. But can you imagine somebody sitting back, oh, people are reading this and they don't know that I wrote it. Yeah, it's like, so we are like donkeys, aren't we? We're stubborn and we just resistant sometimes. And that's why we have this book. We've been reading this, Edwin's book on the 4 spiritual laws of prosperity. And this week we're reading about forgiveness, 2 weeks on forgiveness, because that's how important it is. And she gives you 5 ways to do forgiveness activities. But one of them is about forgiving yourself. That's where you begin. You begin with forgiving yourself. And you can just make it a blanket. I forgive myself for all the mistakes I've made in my life. Start there. Because what we do when we can't forgive ourselves is because we have put conditions on our self-love. Think about that. We've put conditions on loving ourselves. We've said, I will love you because you are like this or are like that. And we don't want to admit our mistakes because then we can't love ourselves. But we already don't love ourselves if we are not admitting to our mistakes, because we have put conditions on our own love for ourselves. So that's why we begin with our own self. Forgiveness is a practice of something that we have to do daily, because every day we make mistakes. Sometimes I'm driving and I cut somebody off, or I do something, I didn't mean to do it. And I'm sitting there going like, I'm sorry. They can't hear me, but it's for me. Do you see? I'm forgiving myself for the mistake that I made. We've all made mistakes. And the thing is sometimes, like the letter, somebody calls us on it. But most times they don't, because they're like the people who are with the Pharisees, right? And are silent. They don't want to say and be out of grace. And so therefore, I'm not going to say anything. But they walk around holding a grudge. And you can feel the separation, can't you? You can feel that there's a distance between you. Somehow we have to forgive ourselves and then forgive them too, because they are holding a grudge against us because of what it was that we did to them. You see, keep something in mind. My mother used to tell me, there's 2 sides to every story. I have found it to be a truth that is universal. There are 2 sides to every story. If we are going to open to the God within, we are going to have to do what? Learn to love ourselves and everybody else. So this week, practice. Just practice. Just use that one person. See what happens. When the donkey resistance comes up and you go like, remember, Jesus said, as I loved you. That's the commandment, to love as I love you. And Jesus loved without conditions. So be open to the God within, because guess what? The God within already is love. It is a whole well of love that is unlimited, it's unconditional, and it is available to each and every one of us if we will just simply make ourselves available to it. That is the work that we have to do, to be available, to be open, and not to be the Pharisee, not to be the donkey, but be the creative expression of the living Spirit of God that you and I are, because that is who we are. So let us turn within and recognize and realize and know that truly we are an eminent expression of the living God, that it is the creative force within us that empowers us, that guides us, that allows us to choose daily to love completely, to love more fully, to love unconditionally, to love as Jesus loved us. I am knowing right here and right now that we have the capacity, we absolutely have the capacity to do this loving, to be this loving. And so we simply allow it in this moment. We simply accept that this is who we are. And so just simply in your mind, affirm with me, I am love. I am love. For God in me, as me, through me is love. And I rejoice that it is so. As I go forth creating my life this week, I do so in the spirit of absolute, total, and complete loving nature, because that is who I am. I speak my word knowing that it is done right here and right now, that each one of us experiences it individually, in our own way, in our own lives, and we rejoice that it is so. Gratefully releasing this word into the law, I release it, I let it go, and I know that I let it be, and so it is. Amen.
There are so many options of songs to do after that talk. I think I'm going to go with inviting Spirit to, or accepting and knowing that Spirit is within us. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have us play a little bit. If you don't feel like standing, that's okay, but we're going to say, I am free, arms up. I'm great, okay, thumbs. No longer do I wait, sassy finger. I got the power of Spirit in me now. Pull it in. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. Okay, I think you're ready. Okay, guys. That way I can dance and sing. Here we go. Yes, I'd like you to stand. Put your hands together. You remember all the words? We'll sing them a bunch of times. Here we go. It goes like this. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. Now just clap. Every day, the people around me say, let's come together. They're loving every way. As we throw our fear and doubt aside, we'll live forever in the love that God creates. So come on, come on, come on, come on. Sing it loud and strong. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. Every day, the people around me say we are protected through God in every way. As we throw our fear and doubt aside, we are connected with the love that God creates. So come on, come on, come on, come on. Sing it loud and strong. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of Spirit in me now. Yes, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power. Oh, you guys have done so good. I'm spirit in me now. Let's put our hands together. Remember that feeling of love, that feeling of energy and unlimitedness inside us, and share it with the world. Thank you so much, everybody. Good job. You guys are sports.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, get the blood moving.
Little chew.
Yes. You know, that actually helps the message to go down.
A spoonful of dance helps the medicine go round.
Okay, so let's see here. Where are we? Please stand for our conscious giving. Well, you don't have to stand, you can sit. Conscious giving affirmation in our program. And up there, freely I give with a feeling of abundance, knowing that my gift blesses others and myself as well. In our Thanksgiving affirmation, I am grateful for the divine givenness circulating abundantly through my life, our community, and our world. You know, you can take that home and use it in your own life. Write those words, put it in your car, put it, near your bank statements or whatever, so that you can remember that as you give, you're not just giving here at the church and in our community, but you're going to the grocery store. You're not just spending, you're giving and you're supporting, all kinds of people when you buy whatever, inflated or not. Okay. Keep something in mind while we're talking about inflation. It's all mental. It really is. It's all a mental thing. Okay? We always have the money to get what it is we want and we really need. We find a way, don't we? So let's just start giving in a way that isn't saying, I am not getting anything. I'm not getting as much for my return that I'm giving out, because that's what inflation is. It's like I'm giving more than I'm receiving. Can't do that. Not in the spiritual realm. Okay. So, don't you love what Marcia has done this week? All right, yay. I love this. These are nice surprises, yes. And the words are in the middle. Yes, all right. That's so wonderful. Thank you, Marcia. Good work this week. All right. We are loving it. That's called the law of growth. For those of us that were in, what class did we take? Oh, the Art of Spiritual Mind Treatment. One of the things we talked about in there was the law of growth, that things don't necessarily, we can put something in motion that we desire, but it may take a while before it shows up. And this is showing up, yes, because we've been knowing that it's there all the time. So thank you. All right, coming up, next week is Easter. Invite somebody to church next Sunday. Yeah. Call up somebody and say, come sit with us. We got seats for you. We have masks if you feel more comfortable, with a mask, We have wonderful music. We've got refreshments. Dorothea and Kathy bring refreshments every single week. You don't have to go home feeling like, I'm famished, So thank you both for supplying that every week. And those of you online, invite somebody to come to your house and sit with you and have Easter service there if that works for you. I know some of you guys are in California and this, it's early, but how about next Sunday? Get up, get dressed early, because you could do Easter sunrise service, right? Get up, come be with us on camera. That would be so nice. All right, just for that one Sunday. After that, you can go back to bed and wear your pajamas. Okay. All right, so That's next Sunday. And then after the last Sunday, we're going to have potluck. And we're still planning the program for that. But those of you who are online, you're invited to the potluck too. So when we were all online, we also had potlucks. And everybody, brought their own food. They ate in their own place. And then we had some little program. We're going to have a little program. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Partly because I don't know what it is yet. But we will have something. Okay. And then on the first Sunday of May, we're going to have a memorial service, and we're going to do it here after service. Because so many of us have lost loved ones and friends, maybe coworkers that, we haven't got a chance to celebrate. So we're going to have a memorial service for them that week. We've all seen at the home office, what they have done is convention. I'm saying, let me back up. I'm telling a story here. At convention, every year when we do convention, we always have a video of all the ministers and practitioners and staff people who have passed away from our organization during that previous year. And so I'm thinking that would be a really good idea if those of you have photographs of people who you want us to memorialize, if you'll give them to us. I'm going to give them to Marsha to figure out how to put them up on screen. Don't tell her. It'll be a surprise for her. But give them to us. Don't wait till the day before, but start collecting them, and so that she can, start, putting, because it's a nice little PowerPoint that we can do, and we'll figure out from there how else we want to do the program. And then Mother's Day is that following Sunday. Okay, so we have several things going on the next few weeks, so thank you. So Eddie and Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. I think Eddie was here to help Marsha out, and thank you so much. He did a great job. He helped Ken out, and he helped Ken out today. And so thank you very much for coming today. Jennifer, thank you for our music. And
my pleasure.
Yes, and for our song of movement. Yes, you get the blood flowing. Thank you all for being here, for getting up, getting dressed, and getting out. I'm so proud of you all.
Yes.
And for those of you who are online, thank you so much for being here, even regardless of the condition that you're in. So each one of us, remember, what are you doing this week? You are loving someone unconditionally. Unconditionally. Notice when you are putting conditions on the love that you are giving out in the world. Okay, that is our service for today. We have changed the order of our community song because we're singing Let There Be Peace on Earth at the end of the service. So join me in the closing community affirmation. We go forth today knowing that we are God's blessing in the world. Only good goes from us, only good comes to us, and so it is. All right, let's stand and we'll hold hands.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other.